and then they still leave the place a mess. They still have homeless people everywhere. It's still a disaster. It's still a woke shit show of virtue signaling at every level of the government. Still. Like, no course correction at all. They're going further and further into La La Land. And you're like, Jesus Christ, you guys. And so then a place like Austin becomes attractive.
Let me tell you what the real problem, I didn't realize it till I f***ing left.
What?
That everybody's too busy tapping themselves on the back.
There's a lot of that.
When the fires happened, those 3 women or whatever, the chief and whatever, I'm looking at them and I'm like, look at them. They all got gel in their hair. They all got a tattoo on their neck. God forbid they can't be cool for just 1 minute. God forbid. And that's the problem you have.
Picture living in a place once seen as the ultimate dream, the hot spot everyone wished to call home, a land bursting with sunshine, possibility, sandy shores, Hollywood magic, and cutting-edge ideas. That place was California. But fast forward to today, what's the reality? Streets lined with garbage, tents taking over sidewalks, and crime so bold it looks like organized group outings. Meanwhile, leaders seem more focused on patting themselves on the back than tackling the problem staring everyone in the face. It's not only frustrating, it's downright embarrassing. And here's where things heat up. Joe Rogan, whether you agree with him or not, isn't giving Governor Gavin Newsom a free pass. He's blunt. He calls California exactly what he sees, a state in collapse. No careful wording, no softening the blow. According to him, it's become a spectacle of empty gestures and political showmanship that's pushing residents to pack up and leave. Now, stop and think about this. If California is supposed to stand as a shining example of progress, why are families, workers, and even billion-dollar companies racing toward Texas, Florida, and Nevada? People don't flee from paradise, unless that so-called paradise has turned into something closer to a nightmare.
And whenever that happens, it's easy for another place to rise up that offers something more interesting. So like Los Angeles was always Los Angeles. And like when Gavin Newsom talks about California, it's like, you know, I'm very big on California, very bullish on California. California has all this industry. Hey, fucko, they're all thinking about moving. The only reason why they don't move is because it's too difficult to move. If it was like every business could instantly pull up roots and replace everything and have everything running in a...
So, what's the biggest issue here? Let's start with crime. It's gotten so extreme that shocking headlines barely shock anyone anymore. Videos of large groups storming into department stores, pharmacies, or even gas stations circulate constantly, and people just shrug. That's the new reality. Life in California now means looking over your shoulder, steering clear of downtown, and crossing your fingers that your car doesn't get smashed open yet again. And who ends up carrying the weight of this chaos? Everyday people, the shop owners who shutter their businesses each night, unsure if they'll walk into a scene of destruction in the morning. Parents who must explain to their children why the playground isn't filled with laughter, but with discarded needles. These are the ones paying the steepest price. Then there's the taxes, some of the highest in the nation. You'd imagine all that revenue would buy clean streets, excellent schools, and reliable public services. Instead, residents are left with potholes, broken systems, and a state government that seems to burn through cash while delivering less each year. And as if that weren't enough, businesses are strangled by endless rules and bureaucracy. For many, it becomes too much. After battling regulation after regulation, they finally throw up their hands and walk away, leaving California behind altogether.
It's too expensive. It's too expensive to leave versus what you would save and the regulations that you wouldn't have to go through and all the bullshit with all the permits and all that. What California does is over-regulate everything. They get as much government involved as possible. They suck as much tax money out of you as possible.
Joe Rogan saw the storm coming long before most. He packed up, left California behind, and settled in Austin without a second thought. And he's hardly the only one. Ben Shapiro and the entire Daily Wire crew made the same call. Countless producers followed suit. Even the entertainment world, the very industry California was once untouchable and is slipping through its fingers. Think about that. Filmmakers are skipping Los Angeles and choosing Georgia, Texas, and even international spots. Why? Because those places actually compete for their business. They offer incentives, keep crime under control, and don't smother projects under endless layers of red tape. When the movie capital of the world starts losing movies to other states, and even other countries, it's more than a warning sign. It's proof that something at the core of California's system is falling apart.
And then they still leave the place a mess. They still have homeless people everywhere. It's still a disaster. It's still a woke shit show of virtue signaling at every level of the government. Still. Like, no course correction at all. They're going further and further into La La Land. And you're like, Jesus Christ, you guys. And so then a place like Austin becomes attractive.
But here's the problem. California doesn't seem interested in fixing anything. Instead of correcting course, the state just pushes harder in the same direction. More regulations, more political theater, more strange laws that nobody asked for. Remember when lawmakers decided that big retail stores with over 500 employees needed gender-neutral toy aisles? That was the urgent priority while wildfires were tearing across the state. Or the law that allows kids to keep their decision to transition hidden from their parents, cutting families out of life-changing choices. That's not compassion, that's chaos. Now, compare that with Austin, where Rogan draws an interesting contrast. Austin leans liberal, no question. But it isn't California's brand of heavy-handed, one-size-fits-all politics. It's a different balance. Austin is a blue city surrounded by a red state, and that push and pull creates a culture that's progressive yet still practical. Keep Austin weird is the motto, but it's also keep Austin working. Look at the results. Leaders aren't wasting time passing laws that alienate families or suffocate businesses. Instead, Austin is attracting tech giants, welcoming creators, and building a thriving culture. It proves that you can value progress without turning your state into a circus.
People are very reasonable. And Austin, the best thing about Austin is it's a blue city in a red state. So it's like balanced. Like, this is a saying they have out here, keep Austin weird and surrounded. So Austin is surrounded by rednecks with guns, and like it keeps the tone more medium. Like the Austin liberals, they're much more just left of center people, like we are. You know what I mean?
Meanwhile, California's leaders can't seem to stop applauding themselves. That's one of Rogan's sharpest critiques. The people in charge care more about appearances than outcomes. Wildfires rage, homes are reduced to ash, and what do politicians like Gavin Newsom or LA's Karen Bass do? They call a press conference. They arrive looking polished, hair perfectly styled, armed with carefully rehearsed talking points, and they parade it as leadership. But that isn't leadership. Leadership isn't about stage lights or sound bites. It's about protecting the people who put their trust in you. Joey Diaz, never one to hold back, tore into them for this exact reason. He didn't sugarcoat a thing. His point was blunt. These so-called leaders care more about photo opportunities than actually saving lives. And the sad part, he's not wrong.
The real problem, I didn't realize it till I f***ing left.
What?
That everybody's too busy tapping themselves on the back.
There's a lot of that.
When the fires happened, those three women or whatever
Yeah.
the chief and whatever, I'm looking at them and I'm like, look at them.
Yeah.
They all got gel in their hair. They all got a tattoo on their neck. God forbid they can't be cool for just 1 minute. God forbid. And that's the problem you have out there.
Here's where things cut even deeper, and this one stings. California has built a culture where certain groups and policies are treated as untouchable. You're not allowed to question them. You're not allowed to challenge them. Because the second you do, you get slapped with a label: homophobic, transphobic, racist, take your pick. And what's the result? A state full of make-believe. People nod along, pretending everything is working, pretending every policy is genius, pretending that inclusivity automatically translates to competence. But pretending doesn't solve problems, it just hides them.
This is my idea and it's great and it's gonna work. It's not working.
You're right.
But you're too stupid to say, you know what, this ain't working. Their egos are so big, they don't have the heart to go, this ain't working.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But I don't think it's entirely their fault. It is their fault, but the culture rewards that kind of behavior. This is the problem with having protected classes of people. Whether it's gay, lesbian, whatever it is, whether it's your nationality, if you have a protected class of people where you're not allowed to criticize the protected class of people, then they become, Vivek Ramaswamy talked about this in a very interesting way. He's like, it's the tyranny of the underprivileged, or is that what he called it? The tyranny of the marginalized.
And that's how you end up with firefighters who aren't physically able to carry victims out of burning buildings. Let's be honest, this isn't a symbolic profession. It's not about optics or appearances. Firefighting is life or death. If you can't sprint up a staircase in full gear, if you can't haul an unconscious adult out of a smoke-filled home, then you can't do the job. Simple as that. That's not bias, it's reality. But instead of protecting those standards, leaders keep lowering the bar just so they can point to diversity statistics and congratulate themselves. The problem? Numbers don't save lives. Skill, strength, and readiness do.
The idea is that this group of people, whether they're trans people or gay people, they get above everything. Everything you do is amazing. Oh my God, you're so fabulous. Because no one wants to be thought of as homophobic or transphobic. So you pretend that everything they do is incredible. And so you're going to be the best firefighter ever. Like, can you carry a burning man out of a building? Girl, you don't have to. If he was in that building, he shouldn't have been in that building in the first place. If I have to carry him out, we got other problems. A literal firefighter said that in response to, could she carry her husband out of the building?
And it doesn't stop with firefighting. Think about doctors, surgeons, pilots, military leaders, jobs where a single mistake can cost lives. These aren't fields where politics should ever outweigh skill, but in California, that's exactly what's happening. Image over ability, ideology over expertise, competence tossed aside in favor of appearances, and then everyone acts surprised when the system fails. Ask yourself, do you really want the person flying your plane chosen because they looked good in a brochure, or because they're the one who can land safely in an emergency? Do you want the surgeon holding the scalpel to be there because of a quota, or because they're the most skilled in the operating room? The answer is obvious. When lives hang in the balance, nothing matters more than having the most capable person for the job, period.
You shouldn't be a firefighter if you can't carry someone out of a building, if you can't run up a flight of stairs because you're 260 pounds and 5'7" and a woman. No, you shouldn't be a firefighter. You should have to be in like really good shape to be now, if you're some CrossFit's game lady who's some beast, I'm like, yeah, that lady could be a firefighter. Yeah.
Imagine moving to a place that was once the dream, the destination everyone longed for: sunshine, opportunity, beaches, Hollywood glitz, and endless innovation. That was California. But look at it today. Sidewalks covered in trash, homeless encampments on nearly every block, crime so brazen that organized smash and grab raids on stores feel like school trips. And the people in charge? They're too busy congratulating themselves to solve a single problem. It's not just disappointing, it's embarrassing. Joe Rogan, whether you're a fan of his or not, isn't letting Governor Gavin Newsom slide. He's blunt. He calls California a disaster zone. No hedging, no sugarcoating. In his words, the state has turned into a circus of empty gestures and virtue signaling that's driving people away in droves. And he's not wrong. If California is supposed to be this shining beacon of progress, then why are families, professionals, and billion-dollar companies sprinting to Texas, Florida, or Nevada the moment they get a chance? You don't walk away from paradise unless it's become a nightmare. And what's fueling the nightmare? Start with crime. It's so rampant that shocking footage of mobs looting Nordstrom's, Walgreens, and gas stations barely raises an eyebrow anymore. That's normal now. Life in California means hoping your car survives another month without being smashed open. Small business owners lock up at night wondering if their shops will still be standing by morning. Parents avoid parks littered with needles instead of laughter. Ordinary people bear the cost. Then there's the taxes, among the highest in the nation. With all that money pouring in, you'd expect flawless roads, excellent schools, and reliable infrastructure. Instead, residents get potholes, broken systems, and leaders who somehow make things worse every year. Sacramento doesn't fix problems, it burns through money like kindling. Meanwhile, businesses drown in regulations until they finally pack up and leave. That's exactly what Rogan did. He left California, moved to Austin, and never looked back, and he's not alone. Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire crew are gone. Producers gone. Even Hollywood, California's golden goose, is slipping away. Filmmakers are choosing Georgia, Texas, and overseas because those places actually welcome them. They offer tax breaks, maintain public safety, and don't bury projects in pointless red tape. When Hollywood starts abandoning Hollywood, you know the foundation is cracking. But instead of learning from this, California doubles down. More regulations, more bizarre laws, more grandstanding. Remember when lawmakers forced department stores with over 500 employees to create gender-neutral toy aisles as if that was the burning crisis, while wildfires literally scorched the state? Or the law letting kids hide their decision to transition from their parents? That's not compassion, it's recklessness. And here's where Austin offers an interesting comparison. Austin leans liberal, yes.
Even guys, like if you're a guy and you're scrawny and you never work out and all you do is smoke cigarettes, maybe you shouldn't be a firefighter. You know, maybe you can't get up that flight of stairs either. It should be like, it's a physical job where you're rescuing people. You have to be able to physically carry people. You have to rescue them. Firefighters, when I was a kid, were the big, brutal men.
Beast. Kicking down doors.
Houses. They looked like former football players. There was this guy I used to play pool with, Ray the Fireman, because everybody in the pool hall, I was Joe the Comedian. Everybody had a nickname based on what you did. Ray the Fireman was a house. He was just this big Irish guy.
But it's not California-style liberalism. It's a blue city in a red state, a balance that creates space for progress without losing common sense. Keep Austin weird might be the motto, but it's also keep Austin working. Businesses thrive. Tech giants move in. Creators flock there. Culture grows. It shows you can embrace progressive values without turning your state into chaos. Meanwhile, California's leaders keep chasing cameras. Wildfires rage, homes burn, and what do Gavin Newsom or LA's Karen Bass do? Hold press conferences, they show up polished, rehearsed, ready for photo ops, and they call that leadership. But leadership isn't about looking good on TV, it's about protecting the people you serve. Joey Diaz nailed it when he blasted them for caring more about headlines than lives. And beneath it all, there's a deeper issue. California has built a culture where certain policies and groups are untouchable. Question them and you're instantly branded with some label, racist, homophobic, transphobic, you name it. So everyone plays along, pretending every decision is brilliant, pretending inclusivity always equals competence, pretending problems aren't problems, but pretending doesn't save anyone. That's how you get firefighters who can't carry victims out of burning buildings. Firefighting isn't symbolic, it's life or death. If you can't sprint upstairs in heavy gear or haul an unconscious adult to safety, you can't do the job. That's not discrimination, that's reality. Yet standards are lowered so politicians can point to diversity numbers instead of actual effectiveness. And it's not just firefighters. Think about doctors, surgeons, pilots, military leaders, professions where failure costs lives. Do you want your pilot chosen because of a brochure photo or because they can land a plane in a storm? Do you want your surgeon operating because of a quota or because they're the most skilled in the room? When lives hang in the balance, you want competence, not slogans, period. And yet California keeps gambling with people's lives. Homelessness explodes, businesses flee, crime spirals, families leave, industries collapse. And Gavin Newsom, he smiles for the cameras and daydreams about the White House. It's delusion. If you can't govern your own state, why should anyone trust you to run the country? California isn't just a warning sign anymore. It's the full cautionary tale of what happens when ideology replaces common sense, when responsibility is punished and dependency is rewarded, when appearances matter more than results. And unless something changes, paradise won't just be gone, it'll be a punchline.